The DEI Purge, a restoration of meritocracy, not an assault on resilience. The claim that Donald Trump's removal of DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, is an assault on social resilience is both ideologically loaded and factually unsound. DEI initiatives have long masqueraded as justice-driven reforms, but in reality, they undermine meritocracy, deepen social divisions, and create systemic disadvantages for the groups they claim to help. Trump's move is not an attack on fairness, but a necessary course correction to restore individual merit, freedom of thought, and institutional integrity. 1. DEI undermines meritocracy and excellence. Proponents of DEI argue that systemic disadvantages warrant systemic solutions, but in practice, DEI policies replace fairness with preferential treatment based on identity rather than individual qualifications or achievements. Institutions become less effective when hiring, promotions, and admissions are based on diversity quotas rather than skills, competence, and work ethic. The success of any society, economy, or government should be based on merit, not demographic checkboxes. If DEI truly fostered excellence, we would see empirical evidence demonstrating its benefits to productivity and innovation. But instead, studies increasingly show that forced diversity hiring quotas can lead to reduced efficiency, resentment among employees, and lower overall performance. 2. The false equivalency between biodiversity and social diversity. The argument of equating corporate or institutional diversity with ecosystem biodiversity is a misleading and flawed analogy. In nature, diversity occurs naturally through survival pressures, not through forced inclusion policies. No biologist artificially engineers an ecosystem to ensure every species gets an equitable amount of resources. Nor should society do the same with human institutions. Resilience in a society is not about ensuring a quota-driven representation of various demographic groups, but rather fostering an environment where individuals can succeed on their own merits, regardless of background. 3. DEI is not about equal opportunity. It's about equal outcomes. Anti-discrimination laws have long been in place to ensure that individuals are not judged by race, gender, or other characteristics unrelated to their abilities. However, DEI is not about preventing discrimination, but enforcing equal outcomes, which is fundamentally unjust. By prioritizing equity over equality, DEI policies seek to manipulate results rather than provide fair access. The core tenet of Western democratic societies is that individuals should have the opportunity to succeed, not that institutions should guarantee identical success rates across all groups. 4. DEI creates division, not inclusion. Rather than fostering unity, DEI policies deepen resentment and sow discord. Employees and students are encouraged to view themselves primarily as members of demographic categories rather than individuals. Instead of being based on individual ability, relationships in workplaces and academic institutions become strained under the pressure of identity-based politics. This leads to a culture of entitlement, where victimhood status is rewarded over hard work, and individuals from so-called privileged groups are unfairly marginalized. 5. Social resilience comes from freedom, not ideological conformity. True social resilience is built on freedom, innovation, and competition, not by forcing artificial demographic parity. Societies that thrive allow individuals to excel without unnecessary governmental or bureaucratic interference. America's greatest economic and cultural achievements did not come from quotas or diversity officers, but from individuals of all backgrounds rising to prominence based on their own talents. The belief that DEI is essential to resilience ignores the reality that America was already a land of opportunity before these programs existed and will continue to be so without them. Conclusion: a necessary rejection of ideological engineering. Trump's decision to purge DEI programs is not an attack on fairness, but a defense of individual merit, freedom, and institutional excellence. DEI, in practice, has devolved into a tool of ideological enforcement, prioritizing identity over competency and fairness. Removing these programs is not about eliminating opportunities for underprivileged groups, but about restoring a system where hard work, intelligence, and dedication, not race, gender, or sexual orientation, determine success. That is the only proper pathway to a just, resilient, thriving society.